Taurus, hello and welcome to your reading. This is a new experiment that I'm working on. It's looking and targeting Venus and Black Moon Lilith for your sign specifically. So I got my dry erase marker. We're doing this live, baby. So even just to start with the glyph of Taurus, it's literally a circle with a crescent shape on top to look like a bowl, but it looks like the earth and the moon slightly above it. So I want to look and involve the moon too. So starting with June 1st, we have Venus in your second house and Black Moon Lilith in your fifth house. So this speaks to you rule the second house naturally. So it's your creature comforts, it's your rituals. Rituals are they're a practice that helps you to sustain an energy or to maintain it. And then Black Moon Lilith speaks to our fears. So moving through your fifth house, this would be your fears boiling to the surface to remove that dross and allow for a purification. If you've worked with Saint Germain and the violet flame, that's something I would advise if you haven't. So let me just write down second house, and we've got the fifth house. So this is speaking to creature comforts, your children, your creativity, your romance, your creative projects, and what you are working through to sustain momentum, confidence, and I would even say values that allow for you to open up to the eighth house of partnership, investment, long-term investments, long-term plans. So I would say the only thing that could be keeping you from maintaining a sense of balance in these areas would just be an overarching fear that your time and energy hasn't been worth it, that things are falling apart when really they're coming together. I have the feeling that you're going to have a lot of resources in the form of people who dig your creative style. They dig you just as you are, coming together to assist you. So Guya Kali 28, this nets to a 10, which in Sensei's step system is representing Taurus. So let's get it out. Let's see what she's got to say. Guya Kali. Okay, this is what we turn to. So look at the card and take a moment, literally do this, Taurus, to mirror the blessing posture of Guya Kali's hands. Right hand raised in blessing, palm open facing outward. So right hand, I forget, is the feminine, left hand is the masculine. So we want to be able to receive with our feminine energy and to give with our masculine energy. Left hand at the upper heart just below the base of the throat. And that's what a masculine energy is meant to do. So for those of you all who are masculine energies dominantly, just know that you're meant to be able to give from the heart and to convey and speak with a sense of firmness for your creative feminine expression to receive and to be able to churn out some really amazing creations for you. Visualize, intend, feel, or sense that she is within you now. She is the one giving this blessing mudra. Absorb the feeling that you are protected and granted the truths that will benefit you and your continued spiritual awakening. When you are ready, place your hands in prayer and bow your head. You have completed your ritual. So the moon at 0 degrees Taurus in your 12th house is really going to be, I feel like, this otherworldly experience. At the time of this, it'll be 5 a.m. out here on the Pacific Ocean near the Tropic of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is ruled by the third house for you all. So that would be your feelings as a modality to express your creative abilities to, if you didn't have siblings growing up, the moon is still representative of your ways of negotiating your parents' attention, having talents that you valued and you were able to express. And then how are you allowing for these genuine parts of you to show up, to bubble to the surface without these fears of squashing them down? By the end of the week, Black Moon Lilith moves a degree and Venus is ahead of the sun after having conjoined it, which is what Sensei is calling the summer of love. So we're moving from this place of, I would say, even burying, Taurus, our emotions, our emotional clarity, and the talents that we've had and wanted to express, maybe over lifetimes, that we have suppressed and held within, which makes people sick. It gives people cancer, like these feelings of having to suppress emotions and you can't express them. It's like if you try to keep a boiling pot if you have a boiling pot, I think of this because a lot of times my pots boil over when I'm boiling my milk for my morning time elixir. It's like, if you try to suppress that, but the heat is on, you're gonna have a mess. Like, you're gonna potentially have a fire. You're gonna melt your metal. It's gonna be a hot, sticky mess. If you want to have the ability to express it, I would say you have to turn down the fire, which can lead to hysteria if it's not properly directed. So how can my Tauruses properly direct these emotions? Black Moon Lilith is in your 5th house, which I would say you might even want to throw the towel in right now, but if you don't, then I think that your projects will speak up to a fire. You're going to come into a partnership with someone who is able to offer that divine masculine, speaking from the heart and the throat, if you're willing to have the passion be the motive and not the hysteria and not the worst case scenario, because Black Moon Lilith in the 5th house cannot be easy. Let's face it, that cannot be an easy transit to experience and work through. But it's something that as you do it, you're going to take baby steps towards your projects. Black Moon Lilith is already in the 3rd decan, so you're now seeing how what you have created, what you have nurtured within yourself is out in the world, and it's taking care of itself. And it's something that you will be able to trust over time. So let's look at the moon at 0 degrees, which is 30 degrees Taurus with inside degrees Elias Lonsdale system, which I love so much. Snakes at rest. Oh, wait. So wait, that would be 30 degrees Pisces, excusez-moi. A large halo ring formation around the moon. The Earth is pregnant with alternative futures. Each one of her progeny, each of her progeny, each possible future could become the one chosen. The criteria center around whichever future stream is most genuinely surrendered to the highest will. So what can you allow for to be surrendered to the highest will? Which one sticks out of your options of, you know, your next creative step, your next creative venture, what you are creating for your children, what you're creating for your romantic life, Taurus? Because it does feel like you guys are potentially manifesting the worst case scenarios with what's just happening in the outer world if you're not surrendered to divine will. The one that prevails will likely be the one most surrendered to the absolute, the most rightful. You feel burstingly full of visions, possibilities, worlds, and streams, and you know that so very much shall pass away, but what is essential will keep on coming. It's very hard to tell who is who and what is what, which way to lean or how to conceive the way it shall go. But if you stay rooted in your inward awareness and enduring core sensibility, you will be tapped as a vessel for what is to be, and that is all you need to know. Boom, done. Okay, so let's look a week ahead to see how things come together and merge, because the sun will be close to the end of the 2nd decan of Gemini, so that is your 2nd house. And it feels like new partnerships again will be forming. They'll be coming together. You'll be able to have more clarity because you're going to clear the fear of making decisions about your romantic life, who you are in your romantic connections, what you value in your romantic partnerships, in your children, what attributes you feel are worthy of passing on to them, what you feel is worthy of being created at this time. And then Venus will be at a net 9, so it'll be at what you love, what you decide, and how you act on it, and expressing and conveying your creature comforts, like how you handle your creature comforts and how you maintain time and space for your rituals, how you maintain time and space to anoint yourself with oils in the morning, how you maintain time and space to be in the body. Because if all the material falls away and we still have this vessel, how do we treat it? Do you give yourself time to just be comfortable, or are you always rushing around to make sure everything looks right and setting things up to where, you know, you have a clean area, all your clothes and laundry are done, but you feel achy and you feel pains in your body? And then Black Moon Lilith moving to 27 degrees Virgo. Let's read that. The magician disrobes, he has no sex organs. We bear a dream within us. In that dream, we can magically disperse every partisan consideration and make the truth a commonsensically shareable thing. We endow that dream with more of ourselves than any outward existing realities. I think that that's what's being asked for, is that you give more of yourself to your creative endeavors. And that can be scary. It's not easy to be so vulnerable. So let's see. Ooh. Ano, 44. So I believe that this is creating a sense of stability within yourself. Like, good job, we just did that thing. Wow, we look amazing. Wow, I just cleaned my house and made sure all my creature comforts are dusted, vacuumed the floor, I swept the patio, I washed my shoes, I washed my husband's shoes, I washed my kids' shoes. Really taking the time to congratulate yourself for all of the energy and intention you're putting into your material world, and then giving more of that to yourself and your body. YouTube is free, so it's one of those things where it's like you can watch all the stuff you want. You might get some ads, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to make the time and sustain it to take care of this physical vessel, Taurus. And that will also allow for spirit to really resolve some of the anxieties that could be rising up to the surface. Let me continue. What was I reading? Okay. Slowly we foster its seeds. There just must be a way to find the common point, to no longer be jerked around by gender politics and all the other anti-brotherhood, anti-sisterhood currents. So we endow the dream with our heart's aspirations, and when we give our all to it, the dream comes true. But until that point, we are worlds apart from others and harboring the dream of our coming reunion with everybody. And then Ano, 44 in the Mana deck. Intention. So I think that this is a moment, June 8th, set intentions. The moon will be at 9 degrees Cancer. So I feel that that will be the time when this energy comes to a window of opportunity, a break in the clouds, of you being so in your head and so internal and fearing things and having threats of things fall away. This will give you the proof that you are supported and you can make decisions for your heart to give more of yourself. O ka ipu ka honua nui nei, o pi iu ka lani kuakini, ahu I ka haka oka o kakai I ke anue nue. The gourd is this great world. It's cover the heavens of kuakini. Thrust it into the netting, attach it to the rainbow for a handle. Okay, so I will read one last thing. The teaching of Anau is reflected in Western proverbs such as you sow, so shall you reap, and be careful of what you ask for, you just might get it. And so let's not be manipulative, Taurus. Let's not try and force outcomes, because that would be diluting ourselves as to how that kind of magic plays out. When you give of yourself and you're vulnerable for this week, just know that that will help you to clear a lot of these fears that could hold you back from making lasting, sustained value. So my Tauruses, y'all are growing through it. Let's stick with it. Let's keep opening our hearts. Journal, find the artist way. I've done a few shares on my vlogs with the artist way. And just know that if you sit down to write, if you give yourself the agency to record a voice note about how you're really feeling, what you really want, it might take a little bit of time, but it's something that you're going to nurture in yourself. If it's never been nurtured in you, this is your moment. Love you so much, Taurus. Aloha.